In the last video, we have seen how to handle element, basically how to perform operations on an element. But what if there are more elements than one? Okay, how do we handle them? Can we use the same operations on them, or can we perform the same kind of functions on them? So that's what we are going to see in this video. Okay, so for that purpose I have created one file called multiple elements, and here we have a basic Playwright code. We start the Playwright and we start the new browser and open a new tab, and then we navigate to google.com. okay, let me go google.com. Alright, so in this page there are few links in the bottom, you can see. Let me inspect it and let me bring it up. Here you can see about, advertising, business, how search works. These are few elements that are present. So when we have a single element, okay, you can directly click it. When you have multiple elements, you cannot perform the basic operations that you are performing on an individual element. So what we have to do is we have to find that particular element, and then we have to click it from the given list of elements. Okay, so when we try to find an element, okay, in Selenium for example, let's say if you are trying to find an element like driver.find element by xpath something, okay, find element by xpath, with it will find one element only. Okay, for finding multiple elements in Selenium you will be using something like driver.find elements. It will result in multiple elements. But when it comes to Playwright, by default it will retrieve all the elements that are matching. It does not worry about whether it's a single element, multiple elements. For this particular locator, these are the matches. That's how Playwright works. So sometimes the code may fail. Even in previous click and custom clicks, we have seen how to handle when multiple elements comes. But let's see in generally how we can perform all the other operations on individual elements. Okay, the syntax is same, finding multiple elements. That's going to be not driver page dot locator. Okay, and if I provide some locator, for example I'm going to provide anchor tag /a, this will get me multiple results from the Google page. Okay, let's Ctrl F and see, it has about 66 matches. Among them there are few which are as part of a script, okay, /a, but only we are worried about /a, that is matching as an element with the HTML element. All right, fine. So it is matching multiple things. Now if I perform a basic operation, okay, with Selenium and all the other tools, what happens is, like, when I have multiple matches, when I am using a driver.find element, what happens is that it will try to click the very first element and it does not worry about the remaining elements. Okay, but in case of a Playwright it doesn't work that way. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to click and run it. Maybe I'll add a sleep of 2 seconds so that we can see in the screen what's happening. Okay, we don't worry about what it is going to click. Let's try it. Okay, we'll see the output, what it's going to click. Okay, it opened the Google page and it clicked it. My bad, actually I have run it with a different file name, so let me run this file. Sometimes it happens, I forget it. Okay, now you see there are errors that says that strict mode violation, multiple resolve to multiple elements, which means that for this particular XPath there are more than one element that is matching, so it couldn't decide which one to click, so it resulted this exception. Right. So how do we handle it? So for example, let's say if I know which element I want to click, for example I want to click the very first element, okay, then I can use something called nth. Okay, nth means in a list which one you want to click. With respect to Python, the list index starts with 0. Okay, 0th element we want to click and use this thing. Once we use this nth, then it becomes a single element, which means that you can click that particular element, or you can fill that element, or you can do whatever you want to do on that element. All right, now let's run it. See, it has clicked on it and it came into a different page, and yeah, it did not result in failure. Okay, let's think of this scenario. Now I know, okay, for example, let me add a debugger here. Before clicking it, I want to explain a little bit. Okay, so this particular click, okay, is going to click this sign in button. How I know? Because we have executed previously, so I know. Okay, so it is going to click this sign in button. Let's say tomorrow some other element comes as the first element rather than sign in button. What happens? Will it click sign in button, or will it click the first element? The first element means in the 0th index. Okay, which one it will click? It's obviously going to click whatever the element that is present at the 0th index. It does not care about like whether it's a sign in or sign out or some other link. Okay, it does not worry. But as an automation tester, you should be worrying it, because the steps after that, whatever the steps you are going to write after that, those are going to fail when the element changes or when the navigation happens to a different page, right? So we have to make sure that, yeah, we are going to click the right thing. How do we do it? Yeah, one is with XPath, second one is, we'll see how we can do it. Okay, so here we are clicking a nth element, but clicking nth element I normally try to avoid. You also avoid it. Here you can perform any other operations as well. Okay, so before seeing how to click a specific one, let's see few other functions. Okay, like how do you get all the elements? Okay, as I was telling, it finds all the elements. That does not mean it will return you all the elements. This is very important. Okay, for example, think of all elements I am going to save. So what normally we do? Okay, let's think of it like we are going to click this particular thing. How normally we do? We can use the nth element, and other way around is other way is you iterate each element, and when you find the element, you click it. When you find your target element or the one you wanted, you will click it, or you will do some operation. Okay, maybe. So now, as I was explaining, it will find all the elements. Now all elements here we are showing it, and we can loop through it for element in all elements. I can say element dot click. Right, if you notice here, there was no suggestion was coming, but I am still writing click. Okay, it's not showing any error. It's all right. Okay, well, let's not worry about it. So what should happen is, like, it goes to this page. Okay, sorry, it goes to the Google page, and it will find all the elements that are matching with the /a, and we iterate one by one and we click each. Right, this is what we are trying to do. Right, maybe I don't want to click it. Instead of that one, I want to get, what you call it, text content. Let me bring it down here. Okay, text content I want to get. Okay, now let's run it and see. Our expectation is basically it should print all the text content from each of it, each of the element it should print. Okay, let's run it. I normally try to first show off the error, and then we go for actual code. Okay, I really like it to go that way. Maybe I don't know how other people are teaching. I do know, I mean, like they directly teach you the right way and don't do it, but we'll always try to play around. Okay, now I executed. Now you see it says locator is not iteratable. If you remember one of the lecture I have mentioned, this is not going to find anything. The syntax is similar, but it is not going to find anything. Why? It is just a locator. When you perform some operation, then only Playwright finds that particular element. Okay, so this is the one difference. That is why we are receiving the locator is not iterable, because this is a locator, not an element. Okay, so when we are dealing with a single element, we are going with the dot click. So that time it will find that element and it will click it. But when if I put dot click here, what happens is it will try to find the element. Instead of one element, it will going to find multiple elements. So it is going to fail. That's what we have seen in the starting of the video. So what we have to do is we have to find all the elements. For that, we will be using a function called all. All. That's it. Okay. So now we got it. And now this element. Now let me remove this thing and try it now. See, you are getting all the suggestions. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the text content, and let's print that one so that we know like what it is finding. All right, let's run it. Not every not every element has a text. That's also you need to know. Okay, see, there are here you can see a gap. Okay, if I put something like text here, I'm going to just format it so that we can print the text in between. All right, now let's run it again so that you will know like where are the text are not present, because not all the elements are going to have a text. See here, there is no text at all. Okay, so there could be such kind of matches as well. Okay, so if you want to click a specific item, you need to write a correct text path, or you have to iterate through it and get the text content or something. For example, I want to click let's say about, okay, or anything that has some value. For example, here let's think of it, India, we want to click. It's not clickable item, so let's not worry about it. So let's click about actually. Okay, so here we are looking for, come on, text is about. Okay, text is about. So based on this text I want to click it. So what I can do is I can get the text, but I want to loop, I have to check it whether that particular text matches. Okay, so what I'm going to do is whether about is present as part of this one. Okay, I'm going to write here. Now you can say like click it. Basically you can click it, element dot click, and if you want to stop it after this thing, you can break the loop. Okay, I mean the break is important because once you click it, it will go into a different page. Then if it tries to click it, it will not work. Okay, maybe we can try it that one as well. Okay, so now if you notice here, I have mentioned if about in element dot content, not other way around, not like this. For example, let me show you. Not like this. I am not doing this one. Right, see, if you see the difference between this line and this line, it's almost same. It sounds similar as well, but both are altogether different ones. Okay, the difference is this: we know exact text, but here we do not know exact text. Sometimes it may come like space about space. Okay, so still, even if it comes that way, this one will work. But if the space comes, this one will not work because there is no space. Okay, so based on your criteria, you try to do it. Okay, either you can use in or you can put equal sign or is. Okay, so it is up to you based on your scenario. Okay, but always try to prefer this way, and try to strip the white spaces, and most of the time if you are not worrying about the cases, you can convert it into lowercase and then compare it. Okay, so now let's run this thing. It clicked and it has come to about page and it ended. Right, so this one works fine. Let's say in case if I'm not breaking, what happens? Okay, fine. Now it will wait. Yeah, it exited. There is no error actually. Okay, because here we are not clicking anything else. We are iterating all the elements, but we are not clicking it. Okay, so now the problem is with this method. Let's think, you as of now we have only 5 or maybe 15 matches. It is fine. Think it, there are 500 matches. If you don't put a break here, it has to go iterate through the 500. Okay, so that will be a bit of a problem because it's going to consume your time. So it's always better try to break it the moment you perform your operation. All right, fine. This is with all. Okay, the next one we can, let me comment this thing. Okay, now all is done. We can copy this one also. So the next method we can have, now we are using nth, okay, to find a particular position. But think it this way, you always want to have 0th element, the first element, then you can use nth of 0. Okay, but how will you do it for the last element? Nth of what? Because you do not know it, right? The one way is you find that dot all and then you find the length of it and then click the last one. Okay, otherwise you can use a function variable called last. Okay, this will give you the last item as part of that particular list, and dot click or get text or whatever you want to do, you can do it. Okay, just like this. If I run it, it should work fine. I don't know whether it's clicked or not. Let's see what happens. It's not giving any error. Yeah, it's going to take 30 seconds and it has resulted in this one. Okay, element is not visible. Maybe the sign in button was hovering on it. Okay, so instead of this click, I can put a text content and get it. Okay, just print. It says search help. Okay, let's run it one more time, but this time rather than running, let's just debug. Let's see where it is that. So it is coming somewhere, but we are not able to find it. Okay, so it is hidden somewhere. It's okay. Okay, do not worry much about it. Just know that using the last, you can find the last element. All right, fine. Next one we have, you can find, not find actually, you can retrieve all the text from all the elements at one shot. How you can do is simple, dot all text contents. This will bring all the text, not the elements but the texts. Okay, that we were iterating and printing right here. Instead of that one, we can just use this one, get all text. Okay, it will return as the list of items. Okay, list of strings actually. See here, you can see the list starts and it keeps on going. All right, so this is one, and you can also find inner texts, all inner texts. Okay, if you run it, whatever the inner text is present, it will bring it up. Text and inner text seems like a same, but it is different because we are actually pointing to each element. That is why we are saying the same. But if I point to a parent or ancestor, parent's parent, then all inner text will be different. All right, fine. Now what else we can do with this thing? I guess that's it. Yeah, that is all. That is all the operations that we can perform. Give me a second. on my website I have mentioned something else. Yeah, all in a text, all last nth. Yeah, that is all. Okay, so these are the few things that we can check. All right, fine. That is all with this video, and we'll meet in the next one. Thank you.